Good morning, good morning. How are you guys doing? Hello, hello. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Mine was pretty good. If you haven't been following along on my Instagram stories, I've been posting some pictures and doing some video there, giving you just a little bit of insight into my life and what I've been up to. Um, so I did some gardening, bunch of gardening that time of the year. I better get out there and get it done before the big black flies come out and start biting. They're already out. They're already flying around, but for the first week or two, first week, they just fly around and they're a little bit annoying. But then when they start biting, that's when it really sucks. Anyway, so I was busy doing that and doing some analysis over the weekend. Sent out a report to members, and there's some good trading opportunities that we have, some really good ones. And I see that things are starting to set up. So I wanted to discuss with you what I'm seeing in the markets, just the currency markets. I want to show you what I'm seeing, and you could take it from there. There's signals for me that I'm going to be taking soon, so I'm going to show you what those signals are. As some of you may know, I've been testing out a new trading strategy that includes the RSI to fill in some gaps that technical regular supply and demand analysis that I've been doing was leaving. And you know, the logic behind how it works is pretty spot on. It's logical, completely makes sense, and it's working extremely well. I've been taking a few trades on it so far, and it's working remarkably well. I've been doing some back testing over the last few weeks. This week's going to be my fourth week of back testing, and the results are just incredible, mind blowing. And those that have been in the school with us for some time, who understand the concepts and principles that we teach at the school, with regards to supply and demand analysis, they understand how some of these concepts can be applied to the RSI, applying the RSI to supply and demand analysis, and they're starting to really understand why RSI is playing a significant role in some of the analysis that we've been doing. So, without getting too much into detail, had a friend over this weekend. He stopped by to say hello, good friend of mine, and I was telling him, trying to explain to him the RSI and that gap that it was filling in the analysis that I've been doing, and not just in the analysis, but in finding trade signals. Okay, so I'll explain that a little bit more when we look at the U.S. dollar Japanese yen, for instance. It's a great example. Okay, but right now we've got gold that's up, and as I was mentioning to you guys last week, we have an institutional area of demand coming into play here. You remember last week I was mentioning that price was coming into a daily demand zone. Okay, now we are getting a reaction to the upside, and I want you to pay attention to the RSI, because the basic idea of the RSI, the indicator that we are using and how we are using it, as brought to us by a gentleman by the name of Brandon Wendell, previously from Online Trading Academy. He's the one that came up with this genius system. Really, really brilliant. And when you combine it with supply and demand analysis, the way that we've been doing it, it's next level analysis. Okay, if this type of analysis was more readily available out in the public and was scrutinized by top thinkers, I'm telling you, they would say this is probably one of the most accurate and deadly trading systems available. My opinion, but we'll see. We're going to do our best to get the word out there, and we'll see what people have to say. But first, you got to prove it to people, right? So that's what I'm doing with the trade signals that I've been taking lately, is taking signals based off of the combination of the RSI and supply and demand. And so far, it's been working very well. So take a look at the RSI. As you can see, it's well above 40 when price came into this area of demand, which tells us that the demand zone is likely going to hold. Reason being is because there's been a lot of buying that's been taking place on gold over a long period of time. So when you have strength overall and buying very aggressive and price comes into a demand zone, if RSI is above 40, it tends to hold. Now, it doesn't mean price is going to hold and continue going to all-time highs. It's just we're going to get a reaction from this area, okay? And that's what we're getting right now. So one of the ways that we can determine whether or not this area is going to break is if we break it down to a 1 hour time frame chart, okay? And there's a specific reason why we would go down to the 1 hour time frame chart. And let's just straighten out that. Here we go. All right. And so what do we have? Actually, look at that. We had a long signal here based on the RSI system. Crazy. Look at the RSI when price came into the daily demand zone. Look how weak. Okay. Look how weak the RSI was. Okay. So we needed price to climb out. Okay. And when price came back in, look at the RSI at 40. That's the long signal. Look at that. There's your long signal, and look at price making its move to the upside. Okay. So now we have price making the move up. And if this area is going to break, we would be watching the 1 hour time frame, and we would be watching to see when price comes down, what the RSI is. Okay. What we want to see is RSI getting weaker. We want to see dips coming lower and RSI going below 40, and then this will signal to us that this area of demand is going to break. So there could be a nice short signal here on gold, because once this area of demand gets taken out, it basically opens up the chart for a move lower. What I suspect is going to happen over time is that we're going to get a move down here to the $3,000 area on gold. Okay. So it'd be nice to time an entry in short on gold for sure. That 4 hour area of supply that we mapped out is holding and doing extremely well. Look at that. All right. 4 hour area of supply that was created. Price came in, tested it once, twice, a third time, and then we got the drop. Okay. Now we are reacting from the daily demand and we're getting that push to the upside. So what's going to happen? Is it going to top out here and then drop? Is it going to top out when it hits supply and then drop? Who knows? But the overall bias is bearish. Okay. We just got to be patient and wait for the right setup to take place. All right. So euro. So the euro, price rallied up on the weekly chart, created some basing candles. We got an ascending structure here on the daily time frame, but for me, I am bearish this chart. It's my least favorite chart with a potential trade. It's my least favorite. I wouldn't want to take a trade on this. There's a potential short here because I suspect that we're going to be seeing a move down in the coming week, maybe weeks. But it's my least favorite in terms of setup because I don't like the ascending structure here. There's a lot of things that I don't like about this, okay? But pay attention to these peaks every time it rallies up and where the RSI is, because it's starting to get weaker and weaker with each push up. And next time it reaches a rally, creates a rally and reaches around 60, we're likely going to see a drop, a more lasting drop, the drop that we are watching for, okay? So something to pay attention to on that. On the pound, this one's a better setup. Now we are reacting from this daily area of demand, okay? So let's switch over to the 1 hour time frame to get a better idea of what's happening here. Now we got the first test of that daily. Let's go back to the daily. We got the first test of the daily right here. Okay, that was a fresh daily demand zone. So we got a reaction to the upside from that area. And now we're coming back. I suspect what's going to happen over time is that price is going to drop. My target's at 130, 130.61. So the more conservative way to trade this is you wait until daily demand is taken out and then you short it. Okay. But price might be too much to the downside once that happens. That's a possibility. I mean, um, what I would prefer to do is to switch the chart to a 1 hour time frame, and this is what it looks like on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to be watching for is some weakness. As you can see, this area of the daily demand has been holding. So what I want to see is I want to see this area get taken out, some reversal, a move to the downside. There may be some supply that's created. So first spot for a short would be somewhere here. Then I want to see price drop, break through this area. There might be a supply area here, and that would be a secondary area for a short, okay, for the move lower. So I'm going to be watching something like that as things unfold on this chart. I think that is going to be a good signal here. All right. But definitely bearish bias. Just got to be patient and wait for the right signal. It's coming. You just got to find it. Okay. And don't jump the gun and get in too early because this daily demand zone is definitely showing some pressure here. US Swiss franc. Okay. We have targets higher up on the chart. 84.47. And I'd also like to see 87.19 get hit, but don't know if it'll get up that high. We'll have to wait and see how price rallies up there. But we're watching the RSI here down these lows for the signal to the upside. What we need is a candle that closes below the wick of this previous candle here. That way we can get an official move to the downside, because what we're watching for is a move to the downside that comes in around 40. Right now, as you can see, if you look to your right, you can see RSI is around 40 right now, but we have not closed below this wick here. So it isn't an official move to the downside. So I'm watching that for the signal. So I'd love for today to be very bearish. Okay, that will help in my in finding the signal for the move to the upside. So watching for that on the U.S. Swiss franc and on the U.S. Japanese yen. This one's looking a lot better. I am targeting a move to the upside here on the U.S. dollar Japanese yen. We've contacted a weekly area of demand. Now, here's what I was talking about with respect to the gap that this strategy fills so extremely well, is that previously using our system, if price was contacting a weekly area of demand, we would need to wait on a certain time frame for there to be a signal. And sometimes that signal is not produced until higher up after price has already made a significant move. And sometimes the signal is not produced because what's required to produce a signal is just not on the chart. But what is always on the chart is price reacting to the demand area and us being able to switch to a lower time frame and watching that reaction and seeing the momentum build by looking at the RSI. Because the RSI to me is, it's relative strength, right? It's strength based on what it was before. And so what is that? That is the buying and selling of the institutions. So if you know that the institutions are driving the market price, then and you're able to see the strength of their buying and selling, that's basically what we're trying to do with locating supply and demand zones and looking at price structure and how they hold structure, how they break structure, and all that stuff. Now we just got another tool to use to see if they drop price down, how is the buying? How is the strength of the buying? We can't see it by them taking out supply zones because maybe that chart doesn't have a supply zone until higher up, but we can see it in the RSI. So in the way that we use it, it's incredible. And this is why I'm saying it gives us signals where before there were no signals. So it'll give us a lot more trading opportunities, and that's a really good thing. Okay, so on the daily chart, I'm watching for this move to the downside. As you can see, this momentum candle that's being created, it's just very close to closing below the previous wick low here. And once that produces that move to the downside, then we're going to watch for some kind of a basing. And then obviously look at the RSI. It's at 46 right now, which is good. If it comes down even further, it's even more beautiful. And then that will be the signal that price is going to start heading higher again. All right. So that is, those are the key markets that I'm watching. And those are the reasons why. And that's exactly how I'm planning my week with these specific assets. Going to be waiting, watching, waiting for the signal. And when the signal's ready, I'm going to be jumping in. How do you color the RSI shade? That's just a setting there. High, low. What is it? It's on one of the settings for the RSI. When you go into the settings for the RSI, where are you? There you are. Style, upper band, overbought gradient fill, oversold gradient fill. Just make sure those two are clicked in, and then you'll have that. All right, folks, thank you. If you enjoyed today's session, hit the like button. I see we only got 4 likes so far, and I'm giving you like rock solid information here, rock solid. So if you liked it, hit the like. And if you can, share it. If not, that's okay, whatever. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the day.